Hi everyone, I'm Lisa McClendon, and here are some tips for editing crime stories. It's most important to report only what you know. This means you don't speculate, you don't jump to conclusions, no rumors, no hearsay. We've kind of talked about that a little bit more with libel, but this is really important when you're editing any kind of crime story. So you want something from an official source, the police, an arrest report, something in court, something like that. You want to double check everything, especially names and then details of what is alleged to have happened. And you can check that usually through official documents. So jail booking logs, arrest reports, documents from court. Make sure, especially in headlines, that you don't sensationalize. Just the facts here, just the facts. Crime stories are also not the time to get cutesy with leads or display type. Generally, crime is among the things that are not funny. So no sensationalism, no puns either. We don't want to deal with that. It's really important when you're editing crime stories to make sure your suspect identification is accurate and not overgeneral. And sometimes in the news, you may have seen that we put people's ages in. And generally that is traditional for crime stories to give somebody's whole name. You want their first name, their middle initial, or their middle name, and their last name, and their age, just in case there's another person out there with a similar name, but maybe a different middle initial, or who is a different age. You just don't want people to get confused. So you're trying to be as accurate as possible so that people understand who it is that got arrested, who it is that police are looking for, that sort of thing. And when you're tempted to put in race or ethnicity because you may see it in a police report, don't do that unless it's relevant to the story, okay? Because sometimes people get it wrong, or sometimes it really just isn't relevant, that sort of information. So don't put that in unless you really need to. When you're describing a suspect, make sure that it includes features that you can't change. Like, you can change your clothes really easily. So a really detailed description of what someone is wearing is probably not a very good description because they can take off clothes and put on other clothes really, really easily. So if you're going to describe somebody, make sure it's things that you can't change, like your height, like your weight, things like that. And make sure the description is specific enough that it really does identify one person. Even if it has lots of physical characteristics, if it's really vague, that doesn't help. It doesn't help the police. It doesn't help people not, who go, oh my gosh, this is somebody who might be a suspect, if it's something that could apply to hundreds of people. And also it doesn't help in terms of, perhaps perpetuating a stereotype, and we don't want to do that. If you have a photo, like a security photo or something like that, just go with that. A picture really is worth 1,000 words here, okay? Then you don't have to say anything, just say the security camera has captured an image of the suspect and run it. So here's a couple of examples. So we've got ethnicity, we've got gender, we've got age, we've got height, we've got weight, we've got some clothes, and you're like, well, that's a pretty specific description, except is it really? Think about this. A lot of people in this age group, this is pretty average height for a man. This is pretty average weight for a man of that height. So that's really not a very specific description. Wearing jeans and a hooded sweatshirt. Okay, everybody wears that. All right, not helping. Okay. However, now we've got somebody who's bald. You can't just regrow hair really easily. I suppose you could put a wig or a hat on, but that's probably not what people do. Okay, so we've got ethnicity, we've got gender, we've got age, also not super specific. But wait a minute here. We've got somebody who's 5'5". That's shorter than average for a man. We've got 250 pounds, which is heavier than average for a man. And then we've got the spider web tattoo. Okay, and a tattoo is something you really can't change. So that kind of specificity in a description is going to be okay. People are not going to see a black man walking down the street and call the cops based on this description. Okay, some people might, Karen, but they shouldn't. And that's a different problem. But this description, nah, not specific enough. And if you look at, things that actually get published, no, not specific enough. Really, not specific enough here. These are all from KU Crime Alerts. And And again, white male 23 to 29, brown faux hawk 5'9" to 5'10". Okay, that could describe like a large chunk of guys on campus. Maybe not the faux hawk, but the age and the height, really that's it. Here's one. Really, this is pretty non-specific here. We have this one, a dark-skinned black male, no height, no weight, no age, nothing there, a heavy accent. What does that even mean? Does that mean they're from New York? Does that mean they're from Georgia? Does that mean they're from Great Britain or some other country? We don't know. Not super helpful. And again, here, this is, possibly, really, we're going to go with possibly here. I don't think so. Again, so you want to be really specific on descriptions, so it couldn't match a large number of people. Here's another one. White man, possibly middle-aged, with light hair and a white shirt on. Okay, that's like half of KU's dad there. White guy, possibly middle-aged, light hair. Oh, in a truck. Oh, it's silver. Okay, how many silver trucks out there? Black lining on the bed and 4 doors. Okay, that's a little more specific, but not super specific. But look, we have pictures. There's the dude. There's his truck. Just go with the pictures. Forget the description. Go with the pictures. And be careful even when you do have a picture, though. That we've got good pictures of this bank robber here, I guess, although you can't see the person's face. Except they say it's a man, and now that's somebody wearing sort of typically men's clothes. But can we actually say this is a man? I'm not 100% certain, because you can't see the person's face, and you can't, there's a lot of clothing there, so I'm not sure you could 100% say that. So just say a person and let it go at that, okay? Wrapping up with this, say only what you know, just the facts, no wordplay, and be really specific with descriptions whenever you can.